Obviously, support like that is important. We've had it for over 8 years now, and I'm really, really pleased that it's going to continue. And thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. This is a record crowd. I think we're pressing 800 people. And tonight we are going to mark a decade of life-changing access that is arguably unmatched in the autism world, what's happening here in Michigan. So like all of you, I wear many hats, but there's no greater title than the one I wear before you tonight, and that's one of being a father. I'm the proud dad of an amazing young woman. 23 years ago, my wife Peggy and I adopted a bundle of warm light and jet black hair, and her name is Belle. After a couple years of life with our daughter, we were head over heels in love and very concerned. Peggy, being a registered nurse, knew right away that Belle was missing important milestones in her development, including no first words. We searched across the state for a diagnosis. We found countless sympathetic faces and very few answers. When Belle was 7, we tried to get into one of the nation's premier autism centers for a diagnosis. We were told it was going to be a 4-year wait. We got to the U of M Autism Center after 2 years, and I remember thinking at the time, what other medical condition are you told to take a ticket and come back in 2 to 4 years? When Belle was 9, we finally had the answer. She was on the autism spectrum, but despite having the label, we didn't have the answers we really needed, and she had lost many, many years in development stages that were very important. And I bet this sounds familiar to families in the audience here today. 14 years ago, Belle's diagnosis in Michigan didn't mean much in way of therapy, physician support, school resources, insurance coverage, or jobs. And when it came to autism in Michigan, we were a political and programmatic desert. It was very demoralizing, it was heartbreaking, and it was wrong. And we knew that Michigan could be better. We knew for the sake of Belle and thousands like her, Michigan had to change. And that's why 10 years ago, Steve D'Arcy and I formed the Autism Alliance. The state's come a long way, but there's much more work to do, like taking on the 90% unemployment rate for adults on the spectrum. The Alliance has done so much to help families like mine, opening paths for people like Belle, but there's more work to do. An example is every year about 2,000 of these beautiful people leave school in Michigan. 1/2 of all the Michigan special education students, including those on the spectrum, leave high school without a diploma, which is low compared to other states. There are states that graduate 80% of their special education student. And so these students have to enter a world that's not ready for them, including employment. And too many organizations don't understand that people on the spectrum are loyal employees with very good skills and a strong work ethic. We hear so much about the skills gap, and we know many of you in the room are struggling to find talent. So I encourage you to look for answers on the spectrum. I ask you to expand the definition of diversity and inclusion in your organizations and recognize that autism as a special ability deserves accommodation. And I make this plea to you not as the chair of the board of the Autism Alliance and not as a business leader. I make this plea as a dad. Belle is my guide, and with every step as her father, I learned something new about the struggles and hope for people on autism in the state of Michigan. So please walk with me, Belle, Peggy, and my family. Walk with the families that you'll meet and hear their stories of tonight, and walk with Colleen and her staff and navigators who, with your donations tonight and your support throughout the year, can help break down the prejudices and make Michigan the best place to live in America, to live, thrive, and work for people with autism.